Call it.
Okay, we'll call this meeting to order at 9:05. We have everyone but Terry from our committee in attendance today, and hope we have Patrick as long as we can. Thanks for being here with us, Patrick.
What's your timeline, Patrick, for today?
Oh, it's just when I start coughing and it gets too much, I'm gonna have to just get off.
Okay. Well,
I've been sick since Friday,
ooh.
coughing.
We'll try to get through this, Patrick. Thanks for being here.
Okay. I move the meeting be adjourned.
Let's go to item one, approval of today's agenda.
I would like to, based on our discussion yesterday, Daniel, make a motion to approve the agenda with the inclusion of an additional item of 8 and 10 Valley View for discussion by the committee at whatever point is appropriate.
All right, we'll call that item 26. All in favor of the agenda with that addition?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Item 2 is we have property owner comments. So if anybody in attendance has anything that they want to talk about that's not related to any other specific agenda item, this would be the time. Anybody is welcome to talk. Nobody? Alan, is the best way for people to do that to just raise their hand?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm watching the screen right now.
Okay, so I guess we have no one.
Not yet.
Okay. Let's go to item number 3 then, which is consent agenda for approval of our meeting minutes for March 19th, 2025.
I'll move to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we've got quite a few people here in attendance for this meeting, so let's talk to the people who phoned in first. Let's go down to item 24. Is it Kresner?
So, yeah, 79 Polo Park Drive.
Yeah.
Should I present? I'm not sure how this works.
This is item 24, Daniel.
Yeah.
Did we have any issues with this one?
I don't recall having any issues with this.
Yeah, it was pretty well documented with an arborist report and everything. There's no other questions. I'll make a motion to approve.
All in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. We got it.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for a well put together request too with the reports and pictures. That's very helpful.
Very helpful.
Thanks.
All right, let's go to items 17 and 18. Alan, you want to walk us through this one, please?
Sure, absolutely. Isle Peak is here representing. We received a notice from security that there was a hot tub and some unauthorized work that was done on the house. Kyle has cooperated and submitted a request for the hot tub. You can see that's item 17. And the shade structure. So Kyle, let me ask you to elaborate. The new shade structure is not going to be fixed to the house. Are your intentions that the shade structure of the clear plexi metal and wood, will that be coming down and then replaced with that?
No, that's the actual structure. It's been there about 3.5 years now.
Oh, so that is the structure that there's nothing new to be built. You're just asking for approval of that.
Exactly. Yeah. I was
Got it.
completely unaware of the permit, so knock that
Okay.
out for you guys.
Okay. All right.
I think the confusion came is because the exterior alteration request said requesting a detached 24 by 8 shade structure.
Yeah, that was my bad too. I thought there was something new going on, but so is that not attached to the home then, Kyle?
It's not attached now.
Okay.
How is that not attached?
There's I think a 2 by 6 little buffer zone that I screwed in just so it didn't lean or anything, but it's cemented into the ground, not physically attached to the house.
So that
The
the
roof
header at
doesn't touch.
the header at the top does not attach to the house?
No, sir. No, only I think I have a 4 by 4 on the clear side and then a 2 by 6 on the other side that just touches it, not screwed in or anything like that.
Why do you not have the same material over both? Why do you transition from the corrugated metal to the plastic?
It's very dark in Sun Valley, and to have my dogs out there, I wanted a little bit of light coming through that window.
Well, I guess if we take this in parts, the hot tub
Yeah,
was there
so
when,
17. Yeah, let's do 17 as the hot tub.
yeah, so that hot tub was there when the house was built, or
Y-
when they bought the house.
Yeah, they had a hot tub. We replaced it. They took theirs with them. We just put a brand new one. I think it was 10 days in when we moved about 4 years ago.
The issue is with hot tubs is not so much we're anti-hot tub. We're just want to see hot tubs with privacy screens. Is there any sort, I don't see any of the pictures, at least any sort of a privacy screen?
We do have plants on the deck that we moved around. We're actually in the process of moving. The house is pending, so we took a lot of that down. The only other thing we have is a umbrella that's staying with it and the plants off to the side.
Is the hot tub staying with the house?
Yes, sir.
Well, how do we feel about this? Do we want to require a privacy screen?
Just as a note, I am the one who complained about this, so I'm not going to talk too much about. I'm not going to be a part of this discussion too much. Um, so I'll let you all discuss it.
Can this be viewed from the street at all?
No, sir.
How about from your neighbors?
No, sir. Only one neighbor, Daniel Rodriguez, above me. But we have a very big, I think 6 by 6 umbrella that shades it anytime the jacuzzi's in use.
Mm.
What do we normally require, Alan, with privacy screens? Can they be like temporary shade kind of structures, or do we require something a little more
Um,
definite?
the material is up for discussion. It could be natural wood or vegetative. The maximum size is 6 feet tall by 8 feet wide. You can have more than one of them, but they have to be separated by open space between them. A foot or two is fine. Typically, they're not movable. Normally, they would be fixed. Normally,
And the jacuzzi can't be seen by any direct neighbors, only directly above me. Then we do have plants just to have privacy on the deck, but it's the next door neighbor can't see onto our deck from his point of view.
if I may offer, if you were to consistently open and use the umbrella that's existing,
Hmm.
but then again, you're selling the house, and how do we make sure the new owner does that?
Yeah, we've talked to him already about it, about the situation, and he said, yeah, he would love to keep the umbrella, and that's kind of part of the agreement. And
That
it
he
just
would.
makes the most sense. So nobody, if it rains or anything like that, it's nice to have the umbrella open above the jacuzzi.
committee, I don't know how we would enforce it, but we would, go on record here as saying every time the hot tub is in use, the umbrella must be deployed upon pain of death or.
Well, I guess we could do that, and then if that doesn't happen, and that's not practiced by the current owner or the new owner, then we'll be back here with another request.
Let me interject as the neighbor.
Yeah, that'd be
This,
helpful.
this has gone on for a while, and I didn't complain. They seem like a nice family. They built the extra structure on the back of the house too. So in the interest of having good neighbors and not complaining about these things, I let it go. I saw that the property was going up for sale and that it was under contract, and I figured this would be the time. Please, let's just rectify this now before it becomes something that I have to continue to be concerned about. Obviously, this is probably visible from other neighbors. I'm one neighbor. I live here. I'm asking for it to please be just follow the policies of the ACC. I'm not asking for anything unusual, and I let it go for a while because we're neighbors. I don't want to be a jerky neighbor. So at this point, when you're moving, please just follow the policies that we have outlined in our policy document.
So you'd want to see an actual privacy screen erected there.
I would like to see that. I don't see any way that we can continually follow up on the new owners having an umbrella up there. It seems like kind of it's a windy place, that umbrella could go down. Generally, we have always required privacy screens for hot tubs, especially when they're in a really prominent view of any other neighbor, even if it's one neighbor. I'm just asking for that.
And I think the privacy screen umbrella would be sufficient since you are about 150 yards, 100 yards above me. I don't see any other feasible way besides planting 6-foot trees along your whole path to see the jacuzzi.
I think it has been sufficient, and I just want to ensure that it continues to be, and I'm not sure that we can
Absolutely. We've
force
had
that
the screen up every time we've ever taken the lid off the
No,
jacuzzi.
yeah, that's never been a problem. I just want to make sure it isn't a problem in the future. We
We
can't
could definitely
ensure.
relay it to the new family moving in.
I think your concern, Daniel, is that current practices get dropped when the new owner comes in.
That's my concern. I don't want it to be ongoing, and that's why I'm bringing this up now, because he's moving. I just want a clear slate with the next neighbor. I have no problems with him. He's been fine, but I would like to just at least get this back to our regular ACC standard.
So if we were to do that, then we would deny this request and ask that it be resubmitted with a privacy screen per our normal regs.
Yeah, correct.
Unless we could determine what that privacy screen is now and have him follow that.
I
So
could
he
write
doesn't
it
have.
in contract with them we're closing in 5 days and this is the last hurdle.
Well, I'm not sure how that would work. Alan is the one who would actually facilitate that, so I'm not sure how that would work.
Well, that would be a private party transaction between the two of them, writing it into their contract. All I can do is continue to check for compliance, and the outcome of this meeting will give me direction on what I'm looking for.
And if the umbrella is sufficient from the way I've used it, then I would strongly recommend giving them the opportunity to respect the rules and follow the rules to have it same. Open up the umbrella, close it when not in use.
I think that's kind of a tenuous request.
Well, I think
If it's in
what
compliance
would make
now, how is it not in compliance in 6 days from now?
Well, it's
if I
not in compliance now. That's the point. It's functional, but it's not in compliance.
Okay.
So I would, as the neighbor, I would be happy with a small privacy screen, even just the width of the hot tub. It is a prominent thing that if the umbrella is not up, and they've always been pretty good about that. I'm not complaining about the neighbor at all. But if there's a privacy screen the width of the hot tub. It doesn't have to be real high. I'd be happy with that.
All right, I'll make a motion that we, well, would we approve this? This is
I could
requested.
install it today.
Well, if you approve it and say approved with the provision of a privacy screen, the width of the hot tub, then
Okay,
we're good.
I'll make a motion that we approve this conditioned upon the installation of a privacy screen to shield from the neighbors with a 6-foot max height.
Correct.
Does that work, Daniel?
That would work for me. I think that would be fine. And again, I have no complaint about how he's been using the hot tub and the screen at this point. I just want to
No, I
make sure
get it.
that going forward.
You don't know what's coming next, so.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. Take a vote. Or did you vote?
No, we just have a motion.
Okay,
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right.
okay. Thank you.
So the shade structure, I think the issue here is the do we allow the corrugated metal, Alan, but not the clear PVC?
Correct.
I don't think we allow the corrugated metal at all.
Okay.
I think the actual in the policy it says it needs to match the
Oh, the roof.
the roof of the house of the structure. And one complaint I have is that I mean part of this is made out of plywood too.
It's not. It was just one overlapping piece that I took off.
Okay.
So it's two individual structures that I just put a piece over because the wind kept blowing, but it's all secured now. No plywood, all pressure treated lumber. We have a metal roof on the house, corrugated metal on it. Can't be seen by the road or any neighbors except for one.
And that from my perspective, it is a glaring it's a glaring addition of the house because it does reflect up it, and the whole thing does look like metal to me from my side. It looks like it has some sort of a mirror finish. It all looks like a shiny galvanized metallic addition.
Yeah, I can see where it's not super attractive.
Yeah, it's the only structure I could have to really shield my dogs from any of the rain without them having running on the deck or all throughout the side yard. Before, right when I moved in, it was just mud, no pavers or anything. And then probably a month and a half since I moved in, about 3.5 years ago, I built that structure and it was never brought up to my attention.
Again, it's clear in the policies, and I didn't, I understand you've got dogs, you've got your situation, and I did let it go. And again, this is not up to our policies. And at this point, since you're moving, I thought let's make it right at this point because it's definitely not allowed in our AC policies.
Yeah, this is pretty significant structure to be built without a permit and request, and then to have it be done inconsistent with the guidelines. I mean, I think the two options are to change the roof material or tear the thing down or take the roof off.
Or use the same roofing material as the house.
That's what I mean. Change the roofing material to consistent with the house or take the roofing material off or take the whole shade structure down.
I would be fine with changing the roof to match the house. The house is corrugated metal, just green. I could definitely match the exact same paint color of the roof to match the shade. And that would alleviate the glare or anything else and have a fluent flow throughout the whole property.
I think that's a good solution. I appreciate you offering that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to paint the plastic part too?
No, that could be a separate discussion. That's I just like the clear to actually get some sunlight back there. We have some beautiful flowers that come up, and that's only maybe I don't know, 5 by 8, just to block off the rain coming in the house.
Well, I think if we ask for the roofing material or the covering material to be changed, I would want to see that all of it changed. The new neighbor wants to do something, or the new owner wants to do something different, they can
Mhm.
come and apply to do something different. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I think to speaking again as the neighbor, I'm looking down and with what is proposed by Kyle at this point, I'm looking at three different materials for a roof.
That was just from your old pictures. Since then, I've cleaned it up. It's only the corrugated metal, and then there's about a foot gap in between the clear plexiglass shade.
No, I understand the plywood's gone, and that's not part of the equation at this point. But your regular roof on your house, then you've got some corrugated galvanized, then you've also got some corrugated plastic. So that's three. And I mean, I don't like the plastic. I could be okay with it if you change the corrugated galvanized metal to the actual material that's used on the roof rather than just painting corrugated, because that's a lot of stuff going on.
Well,
And
that it'll match the house perfectly since the house is corrugated metal. It's just a little bit wider struts. And
well,
moving
the
out
how
in 4 days, I could definitely get it painted or a contractor to go out there to paint. But to replace the whole roof to match the exact metal ripples would be almost impossible.
well the your metal roof is not the this typical corrugated material that you have on your structure.
Yeah, it's just wider, separated ridges for the
This
corrugation.
it's a completely different material. Um, so I mean, still, you admit there are three different materials total, including your house roof, correct?
I would say the house and the shade structure are metal corrugated roof. So I would say that is one metal. Once it's painted to match the roof, that would be identical. You wouldn't be able to see it. Then the plastic, I could rip that down and put the same metal as the other shade structure. I'd be fine with that.
Well, if you look at page 2 of item 17, you see that this is not corrugated metal that we see on your roof. That same material that you use, the interlocking pieces of tin, I think it is, are what I'm talking about for your structure, rather than having this on your roof, then the corrugated galvanized metal, and then the corrugated plastic. That's three different materials. Even if you paint it green, it's a different material.
then the roof itself.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a metal roof though.
They're
That's
both metal, yes, but one of them's the
wider
label.
corrugations is that it's not visible from the street or any other neighbor or side neighbor, only from you. And so that would bother you if the side ripples are 8 inches compared to, I think, maybe 12 to 13.
There aren't ripples on your roof. They're just interlocking pieces. It would bother me, and yes, it's against our policies. It's not because I just don't prefer that in
The
our
policy says
policy.
that it needs to match. And if they're
Yes,
both metal and both the exact same color green, I don't see the issue.
it's not the same material. It's not so much the color, it's the
The
material.
material is metal.
How hard would it be for you to go to a get some roofing material that
To match that would take at least 2, 3 weeks. That's not something you could buy at Home Depot and Lowe's. That's industrial roofing that you could only buy, I'm assuming, in 24-foot lengths. And this is a 6 by 16 structure.
well, the other option is to take it down, and then if the new owner wants to put it back, they can go through that process.
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, it is attached to the house. You've got a ledger board there, and I see the clips that attach your rafters to that board. I mean, maybe you've got some kind of gap there, but this is attached to the house.
It's not attached to the house. There is a space underneath the roof, just so there's no overlap of rain coming down in between the shade structure and my roof.
And I mean, from a neighbor's perspective, and this isn't code, I would be happy if you replaced that metal part, the metal corrugated metal, with the actual tin roof that is exactly the same thing you have on your roof. And then you could have your other plastic, which we generally, I don't know if we've ever approved that on any other property. I'd be okay with if you left that, if you changed the other part to the stuff that's same material that is on the roof. That would make me as a neighbor happy. It would not completely comply with policy, but that's what I'd be willing to live with. I don't like it at all, but I could be.
But if you didn't like it, it would have been an issue 3.5 years ago. And it's because I'm moving that now it's an issue.
Yes,
I just think that
I let you live with it,
I
and
think
now I
that if
thought
it
would be a.
was, if I could paint it to match it, if you could visualize that the exact same color
Yes.
from no more than 40 feet, you would not be able to tell the corrugation ripples from the roof and the shade if it matches perfectly. And I'm more than willing to do that for you guys.
The corrugated is just not allowed in our policy. I mean, if this were something that people do in Sudden Valley, I'd have to live with it. But it is not something that people do in Sudden Valley. It's not allowed, and I don't like it. And that's my view as a neighbor. I'm asking just to comply with policy. I'm willing to give you some variance on what you can do. The plastic, if that's important to you, I'm okay with it if you just abide by the other part.
Can I hear from the other board members? Because I was instructed Daniel Rodriguez would not be a part of the
Daniel
discussion
Rodriguez
of
is a
this.
neighbor. I'm the complainant. I'm the one who has to look at this.
But
I'm
you
not
are
going
the
to. I'm not going to vote on this.
you're not the voice of reason. I am very reasonable and like to talk to people if I could paint it the same
I
color.
think. I
And then
think
in
both. I think neighbors have. They both have the voice of reason. It's up to the committee to determine what the ruling is. I
oh,
will not.
absolutely
I will not vote, but I will state my what my complaints are and what I would be willing to listen to. I
awesome.
mean,
And I am more
if I
than
were
willing
voting
to
on
paint the
this,
corrugation to match the whole aesthetics of the house within the next 3-4 days to comply. More than willing.
I know you're willing to, but I would still have a complaint about that because we're still looking at three different types of roof on this house, which is very unsightly. You don't see it from inside, but I see it every day. That is my view. I moved into this house because it was a beautiful view, and in my view, I think this is an ugly structure. I would like it to just comply with the
Can I,
policies as they're stated.
can I jump in here? We really need to take some action.
Yeah,
Time check.
I guess from my standpoint, Daniel, I don't have your view, but to me, looking down on it, if I could see one contiguous color flow from the roof to the shade structure, including, I mean, he's offered to take out the clear plastic stuff and put in
I
a
could make it
green.
all match the exact same color. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm not looking at it, but I would think that that would be the better of the two evils rather than having partly a tin roof, even if the tin roof matches the existing roof, and then you still got that clear plastic stuff next to it. That's the stuff that I think looks terrible.
Yeah, I agree.
So you're proposing that the corrugated tin be painted the exact same color as the roof and the plastic be removed entirely.
Plastic be removed, and then if he wants to replace that with the same, so the plastic essentially you'd be looking down at one color green with the differentiation being in the corrugated material.
Yes.
Right.
I'm not saying I want to do that. I'm putting that out there as an option, like to kind of punch our way through this one. So.
I really think that's the best option because to find the exact same steel structure, I'm not even sure I could buy it without finding a contractor for industrial roofing material that's 16 foot in length by 24 feet.
So where are you going to get the paint? How are you going to match that paint?
I could do that in a heartbeat. I could go and get it matched. I could look it up on my house details, see exactly what color they got, and get best quality paint I can. Make sure it doesn't run.
Well, you sound like a smart guy, so you know this, but if you just get a can of spray paint or something and try to
Oh,
paint
obviously, I'd do it professionally. Pressure wash it, sand it down, get primer on it, and paint
All
it
right.
the same color. I know.
Okay, all right.
So
Well,
that would be part of our motion then, I assume.
correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what I've written
Okay.
down is match existing roof color, remove plex, right? Remove clear plex,
Yep.
and that's all. That's it, really,
Yeah,
right?
and so basically the only thing you'd see from would be is you see a contiguous material that matches the roof color.
Right.
And the addition would all be the metal, correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
no more of
There wouldn't
no
be
more of the
plastic.
shiny, no
No,
more of the shiny plastic stuff.
no plastic.
And the plywood is down, right? I didn't look today.
Yes, sir. That's been down for a week.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I guess my motion would be to replace the plastic with corrugated metal, have everything be painted, professionally painted to match the color of the roof so it has a contiguous flow, and that there's one contiguous material, one contiguous color that matches the roof.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It sounds like a good compromise.
I do want to point out that this is not something that we will when I'm part of the votes. This is not something that is going to be a customary roofing material.
Oh
This
no,
is
this
this
is
is a
if
this
this
is
was
an this is an
coming,
outlier.
yeah, if this was coming to us like a proposal to build this thing, we'd absolutely have a different approach, but we're trying to get the best out of a bad situation here. So
I wanted to point that out just so going forward, this isn't a precedent, and also that I am compromising here what I want. And I wish the owner good luck in his move.
Vote.
So, did we get a vote on that motion?
Dan motioned. I need a vote. And you're recusing again,
all
Daniel,
right,
right?
I'll call
Yes.
for the question then. All in favor?
I
Aye.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle.
Yep. You guys have a great day.
All right. Sorry about the length of that one, but it's been going on for 3 years, as he said. He's been fine. I just thought this would be a good time to bring it up.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Where to next? Oh, forgive me, Daniel. There were a couple of people who dialed in. May I attend to them?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Linda, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Linda, okay. What item are you here for?
I'm here for replacing the sidewalk, the broken sidewalk,
What's your
What's your
name again?
address?
29 Cold Spring Lane.
Thank you. Item 21.
Okay.
Cold Spring. And one more. Mark? Yeah, Mark, can you hear me? Mark?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Wonderful. What's your address, or were you just observing?
I'm just attending.
You're just attending?
Correct.
Very good. One moment. Okay. Okay, Daniel, back to you.
Okay. Well, let's go to Linda. Item 21.
I'll move to approve as submitted.
Second.
Anybody have any comments or questions? What'd you say, Dan?
No, a second. That one seemed pretty straightforward.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Linda.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The benefits of asking for permission instead of forgiveness.
Right. All right. Do we have any non-builders here with us still, Alan, or is it the builders?
Builders. As I sigh.
I
Sorry,
was gonna
John.
say, you didn't sound real happy about that, Alan.
Freudian slip. I
The
apologize.
builders.
We love builders. Yes, we do.
All right, well, let's start at the top with item 7, Vitale. 32 Longshore Lane. You there, Vitale?
I'm here.
Yeah, we just had a couple of questions about the there is a lot of property coverage on this lot. Have you considered what you any recommendations or what you plan to do for drainage on this? It seems like you have a couple issues on that property.
That was the conversation that we had the last meeting. The drainage issue on the left has been addressed. The one on the right is a temporary fix because I need PSC to, they're going to dig up that area to connect power. After they do their work, I can make whatever we have going on there permanent. A lot of that water that's coming there is from my neighbor. Some of it's for me, but in either case, whatever needs to be done, I will do. I just know that that area they're gonna dig up and run their conduit and power lines and whatever they're gonna do. I don't know exactly what they're going to do, but essentially they're running and doing something because we moved it from the left side of the driveway to the right side of the driveway, right where that pipe's sticking out right now. So
The picture I'm looking at, it shows like a corrugated flex pipe that's going off the property over the retaining wall and down into a PVC into the ground. Is that still there?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's not going to work. That you're talking about, that's all getting torn out and going to be
It's this
redone.
is so the neighbor did that. Not
Yeah.
me. That is temporary. There, so pretty much the whole length of the retaining wall to the house, and then probably from the property line where that pipe is to the street might be dug up, or most likely will be dug up, because new conduit, new power lines. However, some of it's they're going to require me to do, but the majority of it is going to be PSE. And I've already figured all that out with them. We just can't pull the trigger on it until the house electrical is signed off and the meter is installed. So yeah, whatever out there, it is temporary. And so whatever condition you guys want to put on or whatever thing that needs to be addressed, part of my building process will be done.
What has he got that going in? Did he just drill a hole there and put a PVC pipe, or just like, is that like a French drain? What's he doing with that drain pipe?
I believe so. So I believe that where he got it, there's a PVC clean out because underneath my driveway is the stormwater system.
Mm-hmm.
and then everything gets drained out into the ditch below the driveway. And so there's actually a couple of clean outs, different places in my driveway. I'm assuming that's where he connected to.
Is Jerry
All
here?
right.
Yep. Do you have anything to add about that area?
If it's all getting dug up, it's going to be completely different than what we have now. Again, if it's the power company doing this, then or the utility company doing this, then they're going to do it right.
Yeah, I wouldn't always assume that, but so we got a couple of things. One, we've got the first thing we've got is the application for new construction. Can we review that like just independent of these other issues?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So we've
So we'll
got
look at item 6 right now.
yeah, and I'm looking at page 5 of that, which has the inspector's notes. Culvert does not meet the guidelines. A variance has been filed for the culvert, so we can talk about that separately because that's a separate request, right?
Yes.
And then there's also a variance for the property coverage. So right now the property coverage is at 47%, but we've got a relatively completed construction project. We can't change that, right?
Right.
A lot of expense. And
Right.
I think we do want to get this done. My only solution would be if there's some consideration for what will be done with the landscaping to sort of mitigate that extra size on the house. Did you have some plans other than it looks like you've got hedges maybe? Is there anything else planned for the landscaping?
I'm planning on doing trees on the left side.
Okay.
Where
You got
we
some
got
what cedar
into
trees?
yeah, something number of trees, something big. I mean, there's not a whole lot I can do anywhere else around the property, and so I'm just gonna have, probably close to 100 trees, head trees, something on the back and the side, and then some bigger trees on the left and the front and on the side. I mean,
Yeah, the landscaping plan shows western red cedar, the cedar trees, and this English laurel. So, it's all said and done, there's going to be quite a bit of planting going on there.
Yeah, I agree. What size does it? I don't see anything that says what size these cedars are
um,
when you plant them. How big will they be?
so we've planted about 20 of these so far, and I got a bunch at my house. I mean, I don't think this is something that has to be the same way, but we bought like, I think they're like 7, 8, 9 feet tall a few years ago. Now they grow extremely fast. And I don't know, I mean, whatever. I mean, I don't want to be planting 20-foot trees, but I mean, I would say anything 6 to 10 feet, I'll pick them up, plant them, and let them grow.
Well,
You like that?
oh, go ahead, Daniel, sorry.
No, I was going to ask you if that sounds good to the rest of the committee.
Well,
6 to 10 foot cedars.
this is in Joe Jean's neighborhood, so.
I don't care what kind of trees they plant. They all look alike to me.
Same here.
So going back to the first request, I guess we probably take item 6 and item 8, which is the property coverage variance. Like I said, it's way over on property coverage, but the only way to fix that is either to make more property or less house, and neither one of those is going to happen, right?
Correct.
Very astute,
So,
Dan.
pardon?
Very astute.
So at this point, just to get this thing off the books, could we make a motion to approve items 6 along with item 8, the variance for the property coverage? And then we can,
I just want to
come.
clarify that the cedars that are planted are 6 to 10 feet.
Yeah. All right. I'll make a motion to approve item 6 and item 8, the variance for property coverage, with the understanding that the landscaping plan that calls for cedars will include larger than average initial planting cedars of at least 6 to 10 feet.
Got it.
I'll make a note.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Who was that last aye?
Sorry, that was me.
You don't get a vote, Vitaly.
Think I should though, in my house, but sorry. Oh,
Patrick, did we hear from you?
Yeah,
Okay.
So then item
with
7
Vitaly included, that's unanimous.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That sounds like he wants to join the ACC.
another
You
day.
live in Sun Valley?
Once I get this house built, I will.
All right, we'll be giving you a call. All right, item number 7.
This is the variance on the culvert, right? The depth of
Yeah.
the culvert.
Yeah.
So it's less than a 1 foot depth.
And less than 2 foot.
Less
It's
than-
at 1 foot, I believe.
All right. And we talked about this the other day, like this wouldn't be in, if this were to be installed or spec'd, it wouldn't be spec'd this way. It's already in the ground, so at this point, if it does fail, it's going to be a problem of the landowner down the road.
Pretty much. And
Why couldn't it be at code?
So
it's slightly too shallow. It's because it was a larger culvert that ended up being installed. Because it was a very long culvert, that extra circumference, ate into the 1 foot coverage.
Okay.
How does this question about the culvert factor into this issue with the drainage and these other drain lines?
Well, this is mostly for the strip drain of the driveway. It's unrelated to the drainage on the right side. However, there is a grate that does funnel into this culvert. That's my understanding of the drainage. Is that right, Vitaly?
Well, so I'll speak to this. So I'm not the one that installed it, but I know the guy that did, and he was new to Sun Valley, and I was somewhat a part of it just because he was a kind of a friend. And so that culvert, the maintenance guy back then, I don't remember if it was Bruce or whoever it was, they required them to do a 15-inch culvert, which is unusual because everything around Sun Valley is 12. And then they required me to put in a clean out box that was inspected and done with that metal grate because there was a lot of issues. And then afterwards, both, and I believe it was Mike Brock at that point, might have been somebody else, but it was, they looked at it, they inspected before I did my driveway, and Joel, the previous Sun Valley inspector, sent me an email saying that they approved the driveway. So this was done per Sun Valley maintenance guy request because of all the drainage issues on that property when it was dug up and when they actually installed it. And so that's why it's bigger and it ain't to it. And it's been there for 7 years now, and it's doing its job pretty well. And structurally, I got a ton of rebar in that, so the driveway will not fail.
So how does this go back to the earlier discussion? You said electric company is going to come out and tear up part of this driveway, and that's going to give you the opportunity to redo the drainage piece.
They're not tearing apart the driveway.
What are they doing? Like, how does that factor? I'm not seeing where the drainage thing comes into any of this, or maybe it doesn't.
So on the right side, so if you're looking at the house, you have the retaining wall along my driveway on the right side.
Right.
That whole area behind the retaining wall, a big portion of that area is going to be dug up because there's going to be a conduit buried between from the house to the property line. And then whatever they're going to do from that property line, property corner to either the street or however they got to do it, because I got a bunch of power wires running on the street below the road. Now, if they need to go underneath the driveway, they're not going to tear up the driveway. They're going to do whatever they do. Like this is their world. I don't really know what they're going to do. All I know is that they approved my permanent connection to be from the right side of the driveway, because right now I have my temp pole next to the transformer on the left side of the driveway. And before I did the driveway, before I did anything, I talked to a PSC engineer and they said, yep, we'll do everything. We'll make all our connections and everything to your house from the right side. What they're doing, I don't know, but at no point is that driveway getting torn out.
Okay.
That doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's a lot of cost involved in there.
So what we're being asked to approve is a variance for this culvert. This culvert does not meet depth, but this has been installed for half of a decade or so, and we've been asked to approve the variance on that.
That's my understanding. I do want to ensure that this, whatever we approve or don't approve on this is not setting any sort of precedent. This is an outlier. We do want to get this house done. It's been in this condition for a long time now. So yes, we are making some concessions here. And I think Joanne and the builder have worked this out pretty well. But we just want to get it done.
All right. Well, in that spirit, I'll make a motion to approve the variance request on item 7 for the culvert depth. Noting that it is a variance, not standard practice. So.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Vitaly, are you here for anything else?
Well, you guys are gonna discuss 10 Valley View, right? That's if that's the case, I'd like to stay for that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get to that one last then, I guess, probably.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, let's go to item 10, 108 Grandview Lane. This is in concept. And I'm glad that it is. We have Jake and Norm. Is it Jake and Norm?
Correct.
Yep. Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
So, could you, Jerry, could you kind of run us through a little bit of this? Did you look at this, Jerry?
I did, yes.
Okay. Could you talk a little bit about it?
So this is a unique house. It's on stilts is the first thing you sort of notice about it. It doesn't quite meet a lot of our standards. It does meet our height. It does meet some of our other standards, but its driveway is too wide, and it is a unique driveway. It's a bridge driveway, which we don't typically see out here. Its property coverage is a bit too wide. You know, it's sitting at 45 when it needs to be sitting at 35. So there's that. Is there any questions you have about it, or?
No, I just wanted you to sort of lay out where we stand with this at this point. So I would ask, are you the builders, Jake, Norm?
Yes, sir.
You're aware of this property coverage limitation, correct?
The truth is, we haven't put in a set of plans for Southern Valley for a few years, so we were not aware of property coverage. Is the answer to the question. We think we can meet the property coverage figure. I apologize for wasting you guys' time on the coverage issue.
You can get it down to 35.
Pretty
At this point,
confident.
it's 46.6, and you can get it down to 35.
We can. It's got pretty generous eaves on it, just because we're a pretty conservative builder, so we can shrink the eaves, and the driveway width has got to come down to meet you guys' code. So that'll help. So yes, I'm absolutely confident we can get it down to 35% coverage, no problem.
The other one
And then
is the setbacks.
go ahead, Dan.
The other one is the setbacks. So it doesn't, the new requirements are 20-foot total, no less than 5. Looks like we're closer to 15. I mean, there's a 5-foot setback on one side and then, which would require a 15 on the other. So that would be the other one. So, I mean, this is a tough lot. We went out and looked at it. This is a really tough lot to build on and try to fit a house in. It doesn't really even look like a lot that should have a house on it. So I think, at least from my standpoint, I'm glad this is in concept and appreciate you submitting it ahead of time. But this, we got to turn all these red lights to green, or at least, maybe one yellow gets by. But there's too many other over the line. I got a question too. Just looking at the plans, these are in concept. I don't see any structural engineering. I'm assuming that, given that you're going to build this house on stilts and park a car inside of it, you'll have structural engineering in the final?
Absolutely. And just to reassure you, we've used the same structural method both in the Southern Valley and City of Bellingham a couple of times already with the 6x6 PT posts, and then they're cross-braced. And yeah, we wouldn't ever come for a permit without structural engineering. We have done this before. So we're confident we can do this. It's not new for us. We're happy just to talk through, the items as you observe them. And just to speak to the side yard, your side yard point, we initially came with this, in-concept review, request for in-concept review. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, my speaker just made a noise. So first point is we would like an in-concept review today, but also we did come asking for a variance for reduction of side yard. So we can definitely meet a 15-foot combined side yard, and it's possible we can actually meet your, given that we now have to reduce the driveway width, we probably don't need the variance at all, but we did come with a request for 5-foot reduction in combined side yards. So I would like to suggest we just pick through all these red light items one by one, if that's okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we will consider side variances if there's no neighbor there, or maybe a green space as a barrier between neighbors. But this is a really tight space too. It's not only an unusual space, but it's very tight. So it would be a tough sell to get us to go with these side variances that you're requesting at this point. Yeah, the other ones were very scary. The lot coverage, I mean, that was just probably never going to go through. But we take these setbacks pretty seriously, and we do offer variances, but really we need some sort of mitigating situation, a real compelling reason to do that, not just to make a house fit, because one of our guiding principles in this committee is to consider whether this proposed build works with this lot and with the neighboring houses. From what I see of this design, it probably would not really fit in to that space. It would definitely be an outlier. I'm intrigued by your design that the whole house is on stilts, especially in a seismic area like this. So we're definitely looking forward to the engineer's report, but it's the variances that concern me most.
Okay, well,
I'd like to speak to this one. This is Norm DeRogers, the owner and builder.
Okay.
So this concept that we've drawn, it fits far more from Grandview Lane, which is the address. The stilts that you see are not visible from pretty well any side, except for the downhill side, which is the backyards and side yards of the neighbors. Without this type of concept, you would see the rooftop only, just like you see of the neighbors. So I personally feel like this concept works much better with this space, and it would fit the Grandview side of the road far more. Now, the other part of this idea is that the coverage that we are being allowed for this space, I do believe that we can work with that and we can make something fit, but it may come right before you guys again because it doesn't fit with the neighboring houses, which some of which are, exceeding 6,000 square feet. And so if I put a house with the coverage on this lot that's small, I mean, we might have to reconsider the neighbors' points of view. But in terms of the stilts, this is a concept that we've used in the past. It minimizes any kind of disturbance to the property. We can save as many trees and tree roots as possible. This is also, a zero energy home. We have multiple homes in this area that we build that never need power from the grid, throughout their lifetime. So, I mean, these are all parts of what we have been considering for this
I think the
house.
design is unusual, and I don't think we're too concerned as long as there's an engineer's report that allays any fears that this may be a tippy structure. I'm okay with it if it works. That's not my concern. My concern is more of will this size of this house, it's not a big house, but it's a very small lot. Will it fit with the rest of the houses, and will it just be overwhelming in that space? And I think that's a consistent thought with the rest of the committee. If the committee wants to make any other points about that.
No, I think I mean, I understand what you're saying. I live on Grandview, so I walk by here all the time. And you go to, you go to 104 Grandview, and that looks pretty normal. You come off the street, you drive into the garage, and off you go. Whereas you go to 106 Grandview, and it's, yeah, like you said, you could jump from the road to the top of the house. There's no garage. It's just off-street parking with a bunch of stairs. So from the Grandview side, it does fit better. I guess there's a couple houses below, and they'll be looking up at a stilted house, but we'll have to take that into consideration. I think the main thing is come back with, we are getting our feedback. This is a conceptual, which is great. I think the feedback is, yeah, you've got too many variances you'd be requesting at this point. You'd be requesting a property coverage variance, you'd be requesting a driveway width variance, you'd be requesting side setback variances. That's just a bridge too far. If you come back with a final design that has one slight variance, that looks a lot different to us than 3 or 4 major variances.
Understood.
Great. Okay, so how should we proceed? I mean, just to reassure you, we will come back to you with both the geotech reports. The county will want to see a geotech report with an engineered foundation and structural engineering for the building itself. So I guess the question is, are we okay to proceed with this design? What we don't want to do is like launch this whole project in through permitting and commission a whole bunch of reporting and structural engineering if there's a risk that you guys will kind of throw it back, later. So how do we get you the blessing for the in-concept design so we can move forward and finalize it, assuming all the variants? And I'd like to caveat that, while in the earlier part of this meeting, I did redraw the site plan. So I can tell you that we don't need a variance for coverage. We don't need a variance for the driveway width, and we don't need a variance for side yard. So I think we can meet all of your requirements.
If you want to, you got 2 choices then. You can belts and suspender this thing by getting our feedback today and resubmit an in concept with these changes. That would then look a lot more like, okay, we would feel good about this. And then you go forward and do your engineering. Or you say, I'm going to spend the time and money and get going now and do the engineering based on the feedback you got today. I mean, as it sits today, we're probably going to deny this in concept with the feedback that we've given you, which is the whole purpose of an in concept. So I think those are the 2 choices: is if you want to be have a excuse me, have a higher comfort level that we'll go forward with it, come back with a revised in concept.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
you got the committee's view on this and some ideas of what to change, and then you would work with Alan and Jerry to actually put something together again to present to us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is this actually an in concept? Because it says application for new construction.
In concept.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
can we
I think we
gather?
see, Alan. I think we see that more in the our sheet that we work with rather than. It'd be nice to see it on the actual application too in our agenda.
It very well. It is on the agenda. I will put it on the application going forward.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Did you have any further questions about that, Patrick?
No, that's it.
So I think you got our views, and I think at this point we'll probably make a motion to deny as submitted, and look forward to seeing what plans you present to us with our feedback in mind.
Okay.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Was that for items 10 and 11 then, Daniel?
10 and 11, yeah.
10 and 11. That was for 10 and 11. So
Thanks
that
very
motion
much.
was for 10 and 11. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to item 12. We have David and Ogden.
Correct.
Is that right? Another in concept. And I think, let's see, is this the one we went and looked at the other day?
I believe you met Bogdan there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, Bogdan, have you had any conversations with your neighbors at all about this situation? This is
Not
a
really,
very
no.
unusual situation.
I mean, from when I met the neighbors, the ones that are right beside me, they were pretty friendly, and the ones across as well were pretty friendly.
But
I
just,
mean,
but
go ahead,
following
Dan.
up on the discussion or when we met out there, I think I asked you or your brother-in-law or the fellow that was with you, you had this surveyed, you had it, so the staking that was out there, that was a professional surveyor that did that?
Yes.
Okay. Because I mean, when we noticed the property lines if you're standing at the street on the left side, a portion of the neighbor's deck is actually on your property. And
Yeah,
then,
Dan, could you expand on that a little bit for Patrick, who wasn't there?
okay. So Patrick, we went out and looked at it, and they did a very good job staking and stringing both the property lines and then the footprint for the house.
Mm.
It's a pretty narrow lot with a house on either side. If you're standing on the street, looking at the lot, the house on the right is a taller house, and then the house on the left looks like a single story, at least from the street level. But the property line strings on the left side, the property string as it goes to the back of the house or the back of the lot, actually goes over top of the corner of the neighbor's deck. So the neighbor's deck on the left is actually on this portion of it is on this property. On the right side, the neighbor's got the house is very close to the property line, probably not 5 feet off. But then there's a deck above on the second story that clearly extends over the property line. So if you were to stand on the property line on the right and jump straight up, you'd hit your head on the deck of the neighbor's house.
It's
So
about a foot into the property line, isn't it?
yeah. And I don't know that that's here nor there for our discussion. I just think we need to take that into consideration. They're asking for a variance on the side setbacks, which is going to mean they're going to be closer to their neighbors' houses, but the neighbors have already not only gone closer to their property line, they've actually gone over their property line. So again, that's more of I think that falls into the category of that's a neighbor dispute at some point, not our problems.
Yeah, I think that's right. But even if it weren't that egregious, I think this is a tight space to allow any kind of variance on the side setbacks. I feel a little bit more comfortable with the height variance, which is still, way out of scope. It's what, 7 feet higher than we would generally allow. Is that right, Terry?
It depends on the definition, but yeah.
Okay, so they're fairly big variances that are being requested, and this is a tight spot. Even if these properties were the neighboring properties were where they should be, which is something that is going to come up at some point when you're when you sell this house or build it. I don't know when that's going to happen, but that's beyond our conversation. But it's still a tight area for these side setbacks. Whether I feel a little bit more comfortable with the height, but does anybody else have any opinions about that?
I mean, this whole area, this Orchid Court cul-de-sac, these are small houses on tight lots, or not small houses, but they're on tight lots. Like there's not a lot of open space there. Everything's pretty compact. So I'm not as concerned about the side setback. I mean, they've got 15 feet total instead of the 20 feet total. Given that the neighbor is encroached on them, I mean, that's going to make it seem even tighter, but again, that's not their fault or their problem. Like Daniel said, the house, when you're standing there looking at it, the house on the right is a tall house. The lot or the street slopes from the left to right. The house on the left is a tall house. The house on the right is a shorter house. I think this house would kind of like fit visually. It would flow kind of through there. So the height part to me is also not as big a concern. I don't know.
We were told by the builder that this house would be lower than the neighboring house. Is that correct?
I would hope
Bogdan,
that as well. I've not verified that.
you have not verified that?
I have not verified that.
Yeah, the builder told us that would be the case. We don't know that for sure. This is quite a height variance for this property, and if it comes back to us as the ACC, why did you allow a 7-foot variance on this property, and it's higher than my house? I would like some assurance that this isn't going to just tower over it. I like Dan. I kind of agree that it probably will, but the large 7 feet seems like a lot. We've held back builds that are a foot over the variance. I'd have to have a real compelling reason and have some real assurances that this isn't going to be bigger than you say it's going to be, Ogden. I mean, I know you were sticking with that number, but it may actually be bigger than it seems when you build it. So that's my concern, Dan, as far as considering these variances. And the side setbacks also, I think we've not allowed these side setbacks, these generous side setbacks, for properties that did have more space. So be cautious when considering these variances. Was that your contention, Bogdan, that your build would be lower than your neighbor to the right? Bogdan?
Hmm.
Can you hear me?
They dropped, it looks like. Oh, David's still there. Or David? David, can you hear us?
Hello?
Hi, David?
It
Bogdan?
disconnected there for a little bit, but
Okay.
the setback in the front, because the lot goes wider in the back, it would go, I believe, to the 20 feet in the back of the house. So
Okay.
it'd be pretty much just the front where it's the 15 feet total. And then the height is going to be shorter than the house to the right. And I think we were doing some calculations yesterday. We will be roughly like 23 feet, 20 to 25 feet tall from the highest point.
So that would be below. What calculation did you do to determine that this house would be lower than the neighbor house?
Designer did.
The designer did it.
That's what we were told. Where is that? Can we get that in writing somewhere?
Yep. We can submit that in writing.
Does that help the committee at all as far as the height variance? Because we were told when we were there, and if it's the case, I'm okay with it, that it would be lower than the house on the right.
Well, I noticed in the one variance, they talk about the soil engineer said the lot has shallow bedrock, making it unfeasible to dig deeper. So, being aware of that, I would approve the height variance.
Yeah, to me, I think the height variance is not as big a deal, particularly if we can verify that, it is going to kind of flow with the houses in the neighborhood.
Okay. How do we feel about the sides?
There is
So,
there is quite a bit of green space in the back of this property. There's a lot of room back there to have some space, but yeah, you're right. It is, especially it's going to feel really tight to the neighbors who are very close to the property lines already. So,
yeah, I think that's too tight for the side setbacks. The height,
so
I think, which is if you can get it to 25 and let's get in writing that this house will be actually lower than the neighbor house. I think I could feel okay with that. Do you have a number? You said you'd get it to 25.
We're showing 23.3, I think it is now. Um, which is a couple feet lower than the neighbors, but if it's between 23 and 25, it's still lower than the what the neighbor has.
So in definition 2, you'd be at 25 at the highest.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're going to hold you to that, and also that it would be lower than the neighbor's house.
Okay.
Side setbacks. I feel a little funny about that one. You said that's just for the front of the house. The back, it opens up a little bit.
Yep, it gets wider in the back.
yeah, Daniel, if you look at, I just noticed that too. If you look at page 14 of 14 on item 12,
Yeah,
you can see that the point it would be closest to the road on the left side, that front point corner of the house is
yeah,
7'6", but then it starts to expand as you go back towards the back of the lot. So if you were to measure the side setback, say at the back corner instead of the front corner, you wouldn't need a variance.
right.
So it is, the variance is really needed for probably the first 15 to 20 feet of the width or the length of that wall on that side. And then after that point, they meet the requirements. So it's not like they're box to box on both sides. So
Okay.
yeah, you can see if you look at that picture, you can see where the little corner of that deck is sticking out over their property. So
Yeah, it's right there on the drawing.
yeah. So I think I would be okay if they came back with reducing the height and showing a relationship to the neighboring house.
That would satisfy me. Any other concerns, Patrick or Joe Jean?
No, that would be all right.
So can I get a restate for item 12, which was the new construction, everybody was okay with. But if we go to item 13 on the height, it needs to be down to 25 feet using definition number 2, and that a letter that it would be lower than the neighbor's house on the right. Is that the height, correct?
That's
Right.
correct.
And then 14 is the side setback. We're saying it's too tight.
I'm looking at it now saying given that it's not going to be the same width, the
Yeah.
entire length of the house.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little bit better about that.
Okay.
I don't know how everybody else feels, but
Yeah, well, in the house on the right, their deck goes right to the property line. So
Yeah.
they've pretty encroached on you know, the side variance, side setback. So
Yeah, I think in my mind, I mean, these houses are tight. I, I, I don't think I don't think I could be okay with the side variance at all. I'm willing to be the outlier there, but I think that's just how it has to be. I mean, we've denied these for houses that were less close, and I understand that they bought into a property where the neighbors are encroaching a lot, but still, if they were 5 feet back, as they should be, this is still a tight space. And given the fact that we're offering a variance for height, a lot of times you build up instead of out. It seems odd to offer a variance on both of those. I think these were designed with good intentions, and I think that they make valid points about the setbacks, but still, I mean, we have the setbacks for a reason, so I have a problem with that. But I'd be willing to go along with whatever the committee thinks.
And so even though that deck on the left side is encroaching about a foot, it still gives more than, I think, right around 20 or more feet combined on both sides of the setback. I don't know if that helps at all.
No, I think that is a consideration. I think you've probably won over most of the committee, and I'm willing to go along with the majority here. I feel a little weird about it, and I'm concerned about the precedent it sets. But Dan, if you want to make a motion,
well, this is in concept, so I would make a motion to would we approve or deny the concept?
Can we take them in order? Starting with number 12, which is the new construction. If there's no objections in concept wise, you would approve it.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the new concept and new construction in concept.
Okay. You want to vote on that?
All in favor?
aye.
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 Okay. 13, the variance in concept for height, I think you're saying you would deny it because as it currently stands, it would not be acceptable.
Correct. We gave him advice on how to change that and what would probably be acceptable, or would be acceptable to us.
And what was that, Daniel? That was your motion?
The motion would be to deny as
I can
presented.
Yeah.
Go
So,
ahead, Alan. Did you have something?
Sure. So two factors to it. David would bring the height down to 25 feet or less using definition number 2, and that he would also provide a letter that height would be lower than the neighbor's house on the right. Those two things as you're looking at the house.
And again, these things are not binding.
No.
These votes
No,
are
no,
not
no, no.
binding.
No.
But you do get an impression of where we stand on all this. So, can I get a motion for that motion?
So we with those restrictions, or are we denying it?
You're
Based
denying it. Number 13.
Yeah, denying it as presented, and we're giving him guidance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all in favor of that?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the side setbacks.
Guessing what? Because
Did you have something?
no, I was just going to say we went to the variegated dimension, which seemed to be okay. And so there's no change that you're asking David to make. So that would be an approve as well.
Well, how does
All
everybody
in favor?
feel about that?
I have a problem with it. I mean, there's a reason why we had these setbacks. The main mitigating situation where we consider these setbacks is if there's a green space or there's a lot of space between the neighbors. These neighbors could not be closer, and not because of their fault, but or the builder's fault. But even if they were 5 feet, as they should be, I mean, I don't know why we would offer a variance for width.
Then
I know that there's the front, it's fine, I guess.
no, the back corner is
Or
fine.
the back is fine, but the front,
Yeah,
it's still.
is
So
variance. So deny.
I'm going to let Dan make a motion, and and again,
I'm
this is
tired of
not
making
binding.
motions.
This is
I'm
not
tired.
binding, so you know how I feel. We have one other committee member who's not here today who may have some ideas about this too. So just take it under advisement, and whatever Dan says.
No, I want to see what Patrick and Georgine say. Is
I'd like to deny this.
that a
Okay.
motion?
Yes. I'll move to deny
number
item
14.
14.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
All right. So
Me,
All
I think
opposed?
opposed.
All opposed?
I'm opposed.
Okay.
Can we get a little bit more guidance on this? Can we have a little bit more conversation?
well,
The guidance. Go ahead, Dan.
I think the guidance is, you're looking for a variance on the height. You probably will get that. But given that these are, it's not a big house, but it's a tall house on a small lot, very close neighbors. We look to see whether it fits the neighborhood. So one variance, yes. Two variances, probably not, at least not to the extent you're asking for the variance. So if you're able to push the house back in the lot 10 feet and that changes the variance from 15 feet to 18 feet, then that looks different than what it is now. So I think just trying to find some way to either avoid or reduce the request of the variance for the side setbacks.
So
And again, there will be one other member that will probably be around for the next voting round. So we can't guarantee that what we say today is how we're going to vote later.
okay, um, we tried to build the house as small as we can, just because we knew that the side setbacks were 20 feet. The 20 feet that we have, the 40-foot wide house that we have, is already as small as we can. Um, if we were to get a few more feet down to like 18, would the committee be a little bit more comfortable with that? Just because like another 5 foot is gonna be really hard without like shrinking the house too much.
Well, I think that looks different. Can you I mean, you got a lot of room in the back there. Can you push the house back by like 10 feet to get you some more room on the side yard on the left side?
We can try to make that work. We can push it back as far as we can. Um, um,
That would help with your height problem too, because if the house is over the height limit, but it's not right up on the road, that looks different than if it's right up on the road. You know what I mean? If it's pushed back a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're getting really close on the property coverage, numbers.
Well,
So we can.
it wouldn't change your property coverage. You're just repositioning the existing footprint further
Well,
to the
there's the
back.
driveway too.
Yeah,
The
you got the driveway slope, but
extended driveway. Well, it would be an extended driveway if we pushed it back. I think. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah. That's what we're saying. The driveway's gonna have to eat up a little bit more of the property coverage. So, I mean, we can try to make it work. I think 20 feet would be hard if we can get it down to like 18 or 17, 18, I think. And then we can also like get a letter from the neighbors saying that they're comfortable with the site back, that they're okay with it.
Well, anything like that helps to make your case. So, like Daniel said, I mean, in concept wise, we've got some concerns with it, but you come back with a final and add another member to the committee, things might look different. So,
So, did we vote on that? We did not vote. Yeah, we voted on that one
Yeah,
already,
yeah,
right?
we voted on it.
yeah.
Okay.
We got all three covered.
All
Okay.
right, what's
Thanks,
next?
guys. All right, let's go to item 16.
Oleg, are you there? Oleg?
Yes, I am here.
Okay.
Jerry, do you have any comments here?
So it's this site is, particularly constrained by the wetlands. But it does meet all of our requirements. That would be my summary of 22 Big Leaf.
Yeah, I think we looked at this one earlier, right?
Correct. Oleg had presented multiple renderings of different home elevation drawing.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
And what we asked for was a little bit more embellishment, a little bit more something to give it more texture, more depth, more eye appeal. I think you guys, that sound familiar?
Yeah, I do remember that, and this looks like an intriguing design. It looks, I kind of like it, and as I recall, there were some other houses in the neighborhood that looked this way too. This design. I think this is kind of a success story because we did start at one point where I think you were asking for too much variance, if I remember correctly, but this looks like a good solution to address the concerns we had. One concern I have is the I think it was the lighting. You had some sort of spotlights. Is that the only kind of lighting you're going to use on this?
There were some can lights underneath those projections. So I don't know if they're called soffits, but
what I'm seeing is he included a light sample, which is spotlights. Where do you see the soffits?
on the renderings.
Okay.
Plus, when he went over it with me, let me take a look.
Okay. I see.
You're looking at page 4, right?
Page 4. Yeah, page 4.
Yeah.
This is a sample that's right out of our policies, but I just wanted to ensure that this isn't a typical kind of lighting, and that we do it. This isn't like we're requesting this design. We're saying that if you do use this design, be cautious because it has to just be limited to your property. Those kind of lights generally travel beyond boundaries. So if this is a solution all around the house, it may be problematic. Where were you intending to use these floodlights?
Excuse me, this question about external lighting, yeah?
Yes. Where on the house were you intending to use these floodlights?
No, both side of the garage door and front side of the house.
I don't feel good about having these floodlights on both sides of the garage. Those are,
Both sides of the garage door.
yeah, I think I'm okay with the rest of it, but I would include replacing the floodlights with like downward facing lights, like those lights right there, that if he's gonna put those on both sides of the garage and on either side of the house, it's gonna light up a lot out there.
Yeah, there are some fairly close neighbors.
Those are motion detectors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this will be with a motion detector at night time.
Yeah, and then every time a deer walks by or a raccoon walks by,
Or
A
a
windy
cougar.
day.
yeah, windy day, trees blow. It's just, are we good with everything else on this one?
I didn't see anything else that stood out, but those lights did stand out to me as a concern.
Well, I'm looking at the stormwater site plan now to make sure that this says that it's
Underground.
going to be buried.
Well, let's ask the builder.
It says outlet treated stormwater to disperse through 25-foot vegetated buffer. So they got a dispersion trench.
Yeah.
Well, I would also include that all the stormwater piping be buried.
Yeah, let's put that on the
Well,
motion, Alan.
the word trench is on page 7 of 13.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
looking at it. It talks
Yeah.
about a trench, but then it also says outlet treated stormwater to disperse through 25-foot vegetated buffer. I just want to make sure that whatever they're doing to get it out from their dispersion trench, we'll just abundantly clear that everything's below ground. So
Okay.
can I make a motion to approve this construction application for construction with the condition that the lighting be changed from the floodlights to the downward facing lights, and that the stormwater drainage be ensured to be below ground and not above ground?
Sure.
All in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thanks for working with us on this one.
Did we vote?
I think we did, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's unanimous.
Got it.
Am I correct?
Yep.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right, let's go to item 19. Are you with us, Will?
Hello,
Hello.
I'm here.
Okay. It looks like there are a couple trees in the back that you are able to save at this point. That was a change you made?
Yeah, yeah, there's 3 additional trees out in the back that are they're gonna be pretty tight with the utilities, but we're gonna do our best to use the smallest machine possible, or potentially hand dig the trench to try to save those trees in the back. But after the last meeting, after doing analysis and going on site and measuring the tree canopy everywhere, those were the best trees that we would be able to save. And as
I think we found one more for you.
Yeah, there was that big cedar at the front. So
which one? The
one out
Was
by the
that-
road,
Is that the one closest to the road, Dan?
yeah.
Now that is close to the driveway, but
So
I think you can get creative with that driveway to make it work, and we would consider some variances if you needed to narrow that driveway a bit.
well,
Go
and
ahead.
this is what I brought up last time, and I provided a little sketch with the radius of the tree
Mhm.
canopy. and I'm trying to locate it here. But it would leave my driveway to about like 9 feet. And the minimum is 12. And since the property drops off, I also need room to kind of create like a berm, or because it drops off. So I need to kind of level out the dirt so that way it comes up flush to the driveway. So I'd have to taper out towards the tree base. Even if we did a 12-foot driveway at the beginning, we're already on top of the root system, and then plus adding that taper of dirt just so that way it's not a significant drop off. It may suffocate the tree, and it's a big tree.
That's why we like it so much. That's why we think it would be a shame if it came down. And if you'll look at our policies, one of the things we look at is we need some harmony between the builds and the existing landscape that we have. That's why we go through such effort to maintain as much as we can. We understand there's a build and trees are going to come down. We appreciate that, but this is a very significant tree, not only to this lot, but probably to the whole area. And I mean, we're considering a variance here on the sides. I mean, maybe you can get creative somehow with that driveway.
Can you narrow I think when we talked about this the other day, the question is, can you narrow the driveway at the top where it comes off the road? I mean, it doesn't need to be the full width, it's more important when you come into the garage. So can you narrow the driveway at the top of the road, preserve that area of the tree, or preserve that tree by narrowing the driveway, but we also wanted to see like an arborist evaluation of that. Like, what would it take to feel good about preserving that tree? Like, what percentage of the critical root zone could you cut into? I mean, I don't know, maybe you don't really even need to cut into the critical root zone that much. If you're just doing driveway there, you're kind of just on the surface level, right? You're not,
I mean,
you're
we
not doing.
definitely looked through this option and went on site and measured. I mean, one of the requirements for the erosion control is to set up your orange fence around the drip line of the tree. And if I did that, I don't know if Jerry has that sketch that I provided. I attached that in the email, but it's labeled for ACC board, and it's got the radius of the drip line. So if I set that up, I mean, my driveway is left to like 9 feet, even if I narrowed it down at the very beginning. And I know those are big trees. I mean, there's also 2 firs over in that corner that we got to also run utilities, but we're going to be very cautious and be careful. And those trees are more or less out of the way than the cedars up front.
Well, I mean, we are considering a variance on this, so we appreciate that you made the effort for the trees in the back, but I think this is just one more step that we're going to require. We don't offer variances often, and this is kind of what we're asking for in return. That, as I recall, that's probably the most significant tree on this property. And that's why we're making such an effort to try to save this. I mean, we're going to need to get an arborist in there and ensure that whatever build you do to this, that tree will remain.
So is that the question? Is that the requirement? Or at this point, are we approving with the condition that tree be preserved with an arborist recommend?
I think so. I think I could live with the variance. I mean, they've made compelling points why they should be able to use that. And I appreciate the landscaping plan they provided. I appreciate that they're saving the trees in the back, but that, as you pointed out, Dan, this is a very significant tree. And get creative on this, guys. I mean, you need to talk to an arborist and come up with a solution to save that one big tree. We wouldn't do this for just an alder or just a regular hemlock, but this is significant, and that's why we are looking at these properties. That's one of the main things we look at. So I think I'd be okay with everything else. I think, the build's ready to go as far as I'm concerned. If you can get that one tree to be preserved. Is that how you feel, Dan?
Yep.
Patrick, Gene?
Yes.
How do we officially refer to that
Well,
tree so that there's no misunderstanding?
Yeah.
Can
I
run?
Let's call it Cedric.
That is, how do we refer to that tree?
It's the 42-inch cedar closest to the road next to the driveway.
Okay.
Can I make a few more comments? I mean, I
Yeah,
wasn't
go ahead.
elaborate too much here. I just feel like I'm getting shut down right away. But I made many steps for this is my third time resubmitting. From the concept review, I got a pretty good idea or green light that a variance would be considered for the side setback. If I come back with less trees to be cut down, I mean, those aren't the two, that tree is not the only significant tree up front. There's two more in that corner. They're pretty big. And I mean, I don't know if you guys heard me, but and I don't know if Jerry can pull up that sketch with the radius. And I did talk to the arborist, and they told me that a good rule of thumb to follow is following the drip line of the tree to not damage the root system. And in that sketch, you'll see that there's 9 feet left after you follow the drip line. And then also those aprons are important too. The driveway curves, when you drive onto the driveway, especially with a driveway that kind of, or property that drops off, like saving that tree would eliminate that apron, and I'd be down to a 9-foot driveway.
Will.
And through the driveway on the other side, then all the significant trees in the front would be coming out. This is the best placement for this driveway, because I'm, out of the 4 significant trees out there in the right of way, I'm saving 2, and I'm proposing the other 2 to be removed. And I've spent a lot of time on the phone with the arborist and out in the field and with my designer to figure out if I could get creative, like Dan mentioned in the first in concept review, of narrowing down the driveway to 12 feet, which is the minimum, and still maintaining the apron that flares out. Do you guys see that sketch? I mean,
I'm looking at it.
Person, and I submitted this sketch of my field observations. And
which one is that? Which page is that on?
It's not part of the plan set.
Jerry, do you have that available?
I can pull it up.
Thank you.
Just give me 1 second. Planting plan. When did you send this to me, Will?
It was when I resubmitted.
Oh, okay, I've got it here.
It's a separate attachment in addition to the revised plan set in the same email.
Here is what we're looking at. And this is the drip line. Approximate to 9 feet. So your concern is that it would make the driveway too narrow to meet our specification, but I believe that the board is saying that we would allow that if it means
allow a 9-foot entrance.
Am I right in speaking for the board here?
We would consider probably a more significant variance than we would normally if we can get creative with either moving that driveway, curving it out, or making it narrower. That's why I'm saying get creative. I don't have a solution, but it's hard for me to believe that a house can't be built on this property without saving that tree. I mean, that's a 42-inch tree.
So
Yeah, but
I'm not entirely sure of our procedures here, but would something be like asking for approval with the condition of a construction change request showing some sort of acceptable driveway that does not remove this tree?
Well, if we're approving it, then we would do a construction change request. But as it is now, it is being submitted and hasn't been voted upon.
Okay.
well, and I'm at the point where I got a sort of a green light to where I move forward with my structural design, and that's done. Thinking that, I came back with 3 additional trees that I saved in the back, and I tried my best to see what I can come up with in the front. And I mean, my truck is like almost 9 feet wide. I don't see how you would safely be able to enter in this driveway, especially when it snows, and not fall off the edge.
All right, I got a comment. I just went out and measured my driveway because I have a very steep driveway, as the one I pointed you to, like narrows at the top to go around a big tree. And at its most narrow point, it's 11 feet. So I agree that 9 feet is probably a little too tight because that's a tight spot for us. We now have to know what we're doing when we're backing out of there. Is there a possibility to shift the driveway, the entrance to the driveway over, like come up closer to, move it to closer to the property
Well, we're
line?
we're talking a whole 2 feet. And I mean, I got my stormwater pipe coming up that needs to be pumped. I need to put a little small catch basin for clean out there.
That's
And
a
then
green space, right? Next door?
yeah, it is on both sides. And then the apron would probably be encroaching into the green space.
So let's forget the apron. Let's say we don't require that, and let's say we draw something like this. Well, then we're getting from that, if you eliminate the apron to this, then you're sitting
Well,
at
I
11
think the
feet 9
apron is
inches.
critical,
Would that be
especially
acceptable?
when the driveway entrance is narrow, 12 feet.
What was the measurement, Jerry?
11 feet 9 inches.
And
If
I
you
have,
eliminate, if you just eliminate this curvature, this apron, and you take it out, you're going to be left with a right angle here. Is a consequence of that. But
Well, is it possible to get approval to put an apron there with the green space next door?
the property line is right here.
Okay.
So this is all on Sun Valley right of way. We're
That's what I'm
already
saying. Maybe that could be something presented to the board to approve that, or would that just go to Mike?
it's in the REPA, so it would go to Mike for approval. But the aesthetics of it, such as like the curves, that's an ACC decision.
Okay.
and what measurement do you get? Like 11'9", and
Yeah.
accounting for, and if I count for tapering out, so that way it's not a drop off. So I bring up some dirt at an angle, then I'd be covering even more. I'd be encroaching even more into that root zone.
Well,
So I mean, if you're okay with that, I mean, I don't think. I mean,
if what on the root zone, like, didn't we at one point have an understanding that like going into the root zone, there can be a certain percentage you go into the root zone, but after a certain
5% is what we agreed on.
right,
what
and
was it,
so
5%?
35%, right, Jer?
That's right. That's
And
what the
so
average.
what would we be doing here? This is not, I mean,
He's shooting for 0. He's shooting
right,
to avoid this drip line entirely.
right. But if we go into the critical root zone by like 15 or 20%, that doesn't mean that's not necessarily a fatal action for the tree.
So we could it's a possibility to go a couple inches. We're only 3 inches off. If we eliminate this curvature and we go 3 more inches into under the drip line, which I'm fine with. I'm no arborist. I'm not saying 100% that this tree will be fine, but I am saying that, you could meet the 12-foot requirement through here with an angled driveway. by eliminating the curves on the apron.
Yeah, I wouldn't even, you don't even necessarily need to do an angle, just maybe have the entrance come in a little bit further,
We'll
offset the entrance and then kind of turn as it comes in.
so that this driveway is not going to be completely flush. It needs to be built up over a ditch, right? So that's going to pile some soil up against the roots of this tree, which is bad for it. It's encroaching over the roots. We typically don't allow this. Trees breathe mostly through the roots.
Right.
So it's sort of like putting a bag over its head. So that's Will's concern.
Yeah, my concern too. And I think that any approach that we take would require an arborist's approval of it. So, I mean, it sounds like it's doable, but I think the bottom line is it's a big tree. We want to save it. Work with an arborist and give us a solution for this. I could approve this right now if you could ensure that that tree is saved. I don't really care how you do it. I mean, I don't want to see you make a 9-foot driveway, but it sounds to me like there's some light at the end of the tunnel here that we could work with.
Okay, I mean, I'm willing to reach out to an arborist, but I mean, can I get a green light as far as going forward with the variance and getting this design finalized? I mean, I'm one of the few that like to start early because I mean, especially with these challenging lots, a lot of things can come up, and I want to make sure I get all my groundwork done by the end of September. So I mean,
what you've presented to me, I'm okay with variances. The trees that you indicated would be saved. I just want to save one more tree, and if I can get assurances, I'm okay with your design. I would say you can go ahead.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, we're working with you on these variances. There's no argument there, given the green space next door. I think it comes down to how can we get creative to save this tree, and we're willing to work with some movement of the driveway and the other things that Jerry outlined. I think it can be done. You might have a little bit of a narrow spot. I think 12 feet is doable. We make it work on 12 foot. Just get around that tree and the apron, encroach into the critical root zone a little bit, but stay out of the fatal flaw part of it. And I think we're good to go.
So can we get I got two things. So can we get a approval on the variance so I could move forward with the design? And then if we get a letter from the arborist saying that it's okay to encroach this much and we resubmit a site plan showing that, then that gets finalized. But what if the arborist says, you can only, he assesses the tree and there's just no way of saving it unless we have to shift the driveway all the way over to the green belt. So what happens in that case?
Well, we're not going to.
What I'm thinking is we're asking you to provide that to us, and it is contingent on saving that tree. I would think that you would. That's the bottom line. I mean, an arborist is going to help you with your solution. I think we're insisting that that tree be saved any way you can do it. Everything else looks good to us. I think you could move forward. Patrick, I think you had something to say.
What if the arborist can't find a way to save that tree?
Yeah, that was my question.
Well, I think, I don't think anyone's going to say, well, don't go build this house, but that's what we're asking is we think there's a creative way to design the driveway and save the tree and make a functional driveway. And we'd like to see them explore that. So what I'm hearing Will say is like, I really need to know whether I'm going to get this variance on the side setbacks so he can go forward with his design. Can we approve the variance on the side setbacks? And then come back on the final construction plan based on this last request?
Yes.
I think that we could approve everything with a caveat that that tree be saved any way that he can. And if he finds that he can't, maybe he does a change request.
Okay, I like that. Will, does that work? So now you're getting the approval to go forward, work with an arborist and with Jerry to design the driveway to save the tree and make it a functional driveway. You don't want a ridiculously stupid driveway. And then if for some reason you can't do that, then you submit a construction change request and we'd look at that then.
That's fair to me. I will follow those steps, and hopefully we could make it work.
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve items 19 and 20, with the caveat that item 19 be include leaving the 42-inch cedar closest to the road. I request that the owner work with an arborist and Jerry to design a driveway and to preserve that tree. And if that's unable to happen based on the arborist determination, then submit a construction change request.
Got it.
Any other comments on this?
No, that sounds good.
Okay. Can I get a vote on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thanks for working with us on this, guys. We look forward to seeing what solutions you have for that tree.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Take care.
Okay. Do we have anyone other than Vitaly waiting with us now, Alan?
No. Gary, would you stop sharing, please?
Sure, yeah.
Thank you. It takes over the monitor and I can't see who the participants are.
You're watching me file there.
Yeah. So we have Vitaly listening in on the
I don't
Valley
see
News
Vitaly anymore.
VP.
VP, Vitaly.
And Will is still on.
Okay. Let's go to item 4.
Somebody have their
temporary.
No.
Go ahead. Item 4, temporary tarp.
I think Will has a question. He's got his hand raised.
No. I don't see it. Will, are you still there?
Okay, it's gone now.
Okay.
So we talked about this is not really an issue, right? This temporary tarp?
Correct.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 5, 27 Longshore Lane, new roof.
Yep.
Everybody needs a roof.
I'll move to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
15.
Did we?
15.
Did we do 9?
We didn't do 9.
I'm sorry. We did not. I'm out of sequence. My bad.
All right.
9.
What did we decide? What did we talk about on this one?
Let's see. Let me get to that one real quick here. I think we were talking about an arborist report on that one tree.
Yeah, he says Ben Rawls has concluded tree number 1 is diseased and endangered, but they didn't provide anything.
Yeah, I think Joe Jean looked at this one, right, Joe Jean?
Yeah, and I didn't make a decision about tree number 1 because I thought Terry would be here and she could discuss it. But trees 2 and 3 are really close to the house and they're leaning over it and they look dead. So I would move to approve those 2.
Yeah, I think we'll need an arborist report or a good photo. If it's obviously dead, a photo is fine with me. But we don't have enough.
We don't have enough information on number 1 to go forward with it, right?
Got it.
Correct.
Yeah. All right.
And approve trees 2 and 3?
Yeah. That was a motion by Joe Jean?
Yep.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yep,
Yeah.
we can hear.
Okay, my headphones went out. Is there an echo or anything?
No.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now we go to 15.
Yeah, I think the question here was whether this was the whole house or just the main body of the house.
Does it matter?
So I think we could approve it if it's just the body of the house, but we wouldn't want to see the whole house painted the same color.
Right. Because it shows alabaster trim.
Yeah. but used for that. You could say approve alabaster for exterior siding, not trim or door.
That
Yeah.
was my motion.
All
There
right.
we go.
All in favor?
Wait, so what are we approving?
The
It's
use of, go ahead, Dan.
it's a paint color. And,
For the house,
15, yeah.
Exterior, yeah,
exterior, not the trim.
not trim.
The confusing part, Patrick, was that the sample shows trim.
Right,
So we want to make sure that they're not painting both the trim and the
right.
house the same color. So
Okay, I approve.
All right. That's all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Let's go down to
23?
oh, we did Linda, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
23,
yeah,
10 shooting star,
yep,
construction change.
What
yep.
about 3-2?
yeah, we
Which one?
did 22. We didn't do the tree yet.
We did. 2 Midnight Court?
We did?
Dan, you made the motion.
Okay. I didn't
We're
get that.
crossed off.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't have anything.
Oh, was he on the call with us earlier?
Well, I don't remember
Oh, that
voting on this
was
one.
Krozik with the arborist report that he
Oh yeah, we
provided.
liked that one. It was
Yeah,
you commended him on his good report. So 23, correct?
yep. This is Ilya's multiple changes.
Oh yeah. Okay. And he came into our meeting on Tuesday, Patrick.
Mhm. So wait, going back, did we already approve 22?
I don't think
Yes.
we did. We
I
approved
don't,
20. No, I don't think we did. We approved 24. 24 was the one with the arborist report.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think we did 22.
Okay,
okay.
I don't either.
very good.
Okay, so we are looking at 22, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
All right, my it says it's a 51-inch diameter tree. Um, I guess the county approved it. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I really doubt that it's 51 inches.
But we do have county approval.
Okay. Any other comments about this one?
Nope.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
I,
Daniel, are you claiming that or do you want to give it to Dan?
Give it to Dan.
Got it.
Okay.
So now we are at 23.
Yep.
And Patrick, yeah, we spoke to him on Tuesday. We've spoken to him quite a bit, actually. He comes with us with every little change he makes. So we appreciate that. Um, he wants to build a deck that's slightly larger than what was originally approved, and we affirmed that we were assured that it's not going to be a problem with property coverage.
No, Jerry pulled it up.
Mhm.
The rest of it was switching out concrete for treated wood and Trex, which I think looks better in this setting anyway.
Yeah,
And
so it'll
trim-
be a Trex walkway up to the front door instead of concrete.
And then he wants to change the trim color to black and the body color to that alabaster, which we said, good luck. We'll approve it, but you're gonna hate it. So he might come back with that, but I think overall we were pretty good with everything else, right?
I think so.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Any other comments?
No, looks good.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Okay, did we do 25 yet?
Yeah. Last one.
Oh,
Okay. So this is kind of a whitewash on the brick. I guess it's probably a natural brick at this point, and they want to put this sort of white lime coat over it.
Right.
Any comments, questions? Can I get a motion?
I move to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Move on to 26. Dan, could you let everybody in on this discussion a little bit and give me
Yeah.
just 1 minute? I'll be right back.
Okay. So I was out walking the other day, and if I can share my screen, I'll pull these up. That'll make a little more sense. Was out walking the other day, and this is above. So there's a couple of shots I'll show you here. This is on, so this picture here that we're looking at, we're standing down on Lake, this one right here is standing down on Lake Louise Drive. So imagine yourself standing down on the road here. All the way up here is those houses being built on Valley View, those two 8 and 10 Valley View. I thought, what is this going on here? So I went back out there yesterday and Billy goated all the way up this hill. And if you recall, when we approved Valley View, they were originally wanted to put their stormwater drain and pump it up Valley View and then into the culvert up there. And we said, no, that doesn't work because there's houses down below here. And if that ever breaks or something goes wrong, your pump fails or power goes out, you're now suddenly flooding these neighbors down there. So we said, you've got to go from up top down below to this culvert down here. And this is a utility space. So this is a utility easement between these two lots here. This is 4 Lake Louise and this is 7 Marigold. So that was the requirement. But the issue there is they had to go over a narrow spot of Sudden Valley green space as well, and they had to get an easement for that. So up above here, there's a Sudden Valley green space. They got an easement from Sudden Valley to go through there with their stormwater. I think we were all under, I had no illusions that this would not be a stormwater drain that would be trenched in the ground and then daylighted out here into the culvert at Valley View, or excuse me, at Lake down below by the mailboxes by the condos on Lake Louise. But again, went up there yesterday and this guy has put this pipe from the top of Lake Louise. This goes basically from Valley View, and they've run this pipe over top the ground between the neighbor's property, dumping it down into Lake Louise Drive. So this is their stormwater drain, and this is how they're proposing to drain their stormwater off of the Valley View property up above, down below. So that's what we found. Daniel and I met yesterday with Joanne and Alan to see if, what recourse do we have? Because clearly to me, this is not acceptable. One of the homeowners here has already filed a complaint claiming that, property damage and loss of value and all of this stuff, which I completely agree with. I wouldn't want this ugly thing running through my yard. There's some question as to whether, the county allows this. I did some research last night, and the county's preference on any stormwater drain is that it stay in an open ditch. If it can't stay in an open ditch, then they want it in a pipeline, and they have requirements for burying those pipelines. They do make exceptions for unburied pipelines, but you have to basically apply for an exemption to do that. And so at this point, Alan is going to reach out to Sovereign Homes, the builder, and ask, what the hell? Why did you lay this ground over top the line on the utility easement? Why didn't you bury it? We went back through all the plans that we approved, and there was nothing in there that showed that it was going to be laying on top of the ground. In fact, they used the word trench in several locations. It wasn't specifically spelled out, or was there any engineering design around how deep or anything like that. But it appears at this point, just to cut a few corners, the pipe, the stormwater drain goes underground through their property in Valley View, and then daylights here. Right here is where it comes out of the ground. It daylights and then lays on top of the ground, going down to Lake Louise down below. So the picture I showed you earlier was standing down right down here. So now you got the 411 on it, and I don't know, Alan, if you've had a chance to call Sovereign Homes yet or not.
I have called Sovereign Homes, and the what I've been told is that next Tuesday they're going to go and cover it with mulch.
Yeah, and that's not acceptable because this is a very steep slope, and you're gonna, first of all, you're gonna have to pile mulch about 6 feet high to keep it from all running downhill as you pile it. The other part of it is that as soon as we get one good storm, all that mulch is going to end up in these poor people's back patio and all the way down on the road and in the culverts down here. So I think not our preference, like our requirement is that this line be buried according to standard specs and according to what the county requires and according to what they told us they were going to do. And unless they can show us something that we approved that said it could lay on top of the ground, that we're gonna require they bury it. So.
I think the main directive is that once this is all completed, it looks like it did before you started, and a pile of mulch is not what it started with. Um, and also, I mean, why would you do that to a neighbor? It's buried in your property. Why would you do this to one of your Sudden Valley neighbors? Is something that I mean, the county can have whatever ruling they want, but we live with these people that would have to live with this, and we're going to hear from them, and they're going to ask us, why are you allowing this? And nobody likes it. Of course, it's cheaper, easier. There is an issue with tree damage, which we need to consider. I think that when we did approve one green space transverse, we insisted that um, arborists be available and that no trees are hurt. I mean, we're not here to make it easier. We're here to make it right. And I think what Dan has outlined is our concern, and we want to make sure that this never happens again and that we make this one right. I
And
mean,
this, I
we
mean,
have to
this is
insist
storm.
that the builders are good neighbors to us too. I mean, they own these properties. We want everybody to be a good neighbor. This is not being a good neighbor.
I think so. The reason I wanted to have it on the agenda was to get clarity from the ACC that, we want to be able to point to the fact that when we approved this build, when we approved the stormwater plan that they submitted, the requirement was, our requirement is that this be a buried line, not a line laying over top the ground between people's property.
Yeah, is that the consensus here, Patrick, Joe Jean? How do you feel about?
Oh, I think it needs to be buried, that's for sure. Um, would the trench have to be dug on the downhill property?
Yeah, it would have to be wherever you see this green line, they would have to dig a trench.
And
And,
that's
it's pretty steep, so they're likely going to have to go out here and hand dig this thing. I don't think they're going to be able to get equipment to crawl the side of that hill, at least not for this trench. So, I mean, they're going to have to go out and hand dig it. It's a stormwater line and a utility easement, so, it doesn't need to be 4 feet deep. I think a foot, 18 inches of cover is plenty. So.
Well, I think that, Dan, at this point, we're looking for a consensus of feeling on the committee. We'll let Alan and Jerry kind of work this out as they need to, but going forward, I don't ever want to see this again, and I want to ensure that we're very clear that any kind of drainage system or any kind of plumbing is not visible or
I'm
put
I'm
in your neighbor's yard.
I'm in
So
complete
looking
agreement.
forward, we need to ensure that this doesn't happen. Patrick, we haven't heard from you yet.
Yeah, it's definitely not in compliance with what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So they need to bury it.
So
it,
I think we've made a point of how we feel on our committee, and Alan, and I think Jerry, this is kind of an ongoing thing with them in this situation. Our opinion is very clear.
I have
Um,
are,
Jean?
are either of those houses sold yet, or would the builder be digging the trench and stuff?
One of
Yeah,
them is in escrow. So eight, in my understanding, and Alan, please jump in, but my understanding is 8 Valley View is in escrow.
What I can say is neither house has received its final approval. and I'd rather not comment on the business aspect of things.
So I'll comment on it since Alan doesn't feel comfortable. My understanding is that 8 Valley View is in escrow. The builder has to get final sign off from the county and from Sudden Valley before they can get a permit to occupy. So that all,
So,
you know, so
yes, so Sudden Valley should make the builder trench this pipe before they give their final approval.
that was I think that was my consensus. That was my understanding too, Joe Jean, or my feeling is that the leverage we have now is they need our final approval to sell these houses. We shouldn't give that until they bury this pipe. So
Yeah,
I agree.
Okay, well that's how the ACC feels. Let's we feel strongly about it. Let's let the process work its way out, and we will be apprised of this as it goes on, Alan.
All right. So I'm going to add this to they have a punch list for their final inspection. I'm going to bury that that drain onto that punch list, and they will not be considered having completed their final until that thing is buried.
that works for me.
Okay. Yeah, this is something that Joanne is aware of and Alan is aware of, and there's discussions. So,
it has to be buried, not just covered with mulch.
No. Yeah, buried, I would say like minimum foot cover kind of standard practice for burying a stormwater. The county has those things. There's all kinds of county regs on burying stormwater, so.
and it has to look like it was never disturbed. The ground looks like it was never disturbed. So that's how we stand. Um, that's all we can say on the matter, really. Um, so if there's nothing else, we'll adjourn this meeting at what time is it? 11:27.
All right. Thank you all.
Okay.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Alan,